Yo, what's going on everybody? My name's Cast. Welcome back to another episode reaction of Hunter x Hunter. This time I'm on episode 10. We are now about halfway through the first part of phase 3, which is the best of 5 tournament prisoner battle match. I believe we are up 2-1 right now, with the last fight being Kurapika destroying the blue Ginyu Force looking dude. I think his name was Majitani. Next up we have Liurio fighting what seems to be a woman character, and because we're up 2-1, I have a feeling that Liurio is going to end up losing this just so we can see Killua fight whoever's last. I don't mean to hate on Liurio. I think he's smart. He might actually be pretty good at fighting. We haven't actually seen too much of his fighting capabilities yet, but just because his opponent is a woman, I'm just thinking that she's going to use that against him in some way, shape, or form, because he is still very immature and hot-headed and has a soft spot for women, as we saw in the first time of him reading a girl Playboy magazine or whatever. Either way, I'm going to get straight into it, so please be sure to like and subscribe on the video. And of course, if you want to see my early actions right now, you can do so over on my Patreon. The Soul tier will always be one episode ahead, and the Ascended tier will be multiple weeks early, shown right over here. Those reactions are also clear and extended length, meaning that you get more reaction and more discussion to go along with each and every video. Alright, let's continue the tournament. We had all this stuff about the Phantom Troop as well, which is, I'm assuming, heavy foreshadowing for what's to come. I'm gonna be on the lookout for that tattoo. I don't know if it always has to be on the back or not. This is one of my favorite moments in the series so far. Kurapika is really cool. Episode 10, Trick to the Trick. Oh. Because he's not dead or something? Right. Is it because they technically agreed to a death match? Right. Well, it's easy. Just, if he's unconscious, toss him off the edge. Kurapika showed mercy, so it'd be hard for him to go back on that. Oh. Killua agreeing was one thing, because he's an assassin by nature, but Gon agreeing is another, like, bit of like, oh, yeah, Gon, I guess you don't have a problem with killing people? You don't see any issue with that? Okay. Just a little marking in Gon's notebook of potential darkness within him. Things I'm keeping track of now. He's not gonna want to do it. He seems pretty resolved in his decision. That being said, you're still in a competition. He's very arrogant, prideful, set in his ways. Very principled, I guess you could say. Damn, Killua. Alright. That's what it is, yeah. Yeah. You know, he's right? It's a two-sided coin. On one hand, Kurapika doesn't want to kill people if he doesn't have to, and plus, he's already made his decision, and plus, he has principles. So I totally understand where Kurapika's coming from, but at the same time, you can't deny that this is jeopardizing the team a little bit, because not only is your match not finished, the clock is still running. You're on a time limit here. You're not screwing over only yourself on the hopes that he wakes up, but you're also screwing over your teammates who also have to do fights after this. So it's not like we just wait and then he wakes up and then we go to the next room because the matches isn't over. We have to wait another one. Assuming Liurio has to play the next one and loses, you have another one after that. And all of that could be used as additional time to stall out. So yeah, it's not really a good decision. I don't really know what the answer is. Either way, someone kind of loses here, but in my opinion, just from what I've seen so far, toss the guy off the edge, and that'll be it. Kurapika doesn't even have to do it, necessarily. It's not Kurapika killing him, it's gravity, kind of. Not really, it doesn't really work out like that, but it's better than like Kurapika just cutting his head off or something. Right, you could just vote on it, yeah? Well, we already have 2 X's. Gon and Killua seem to be on the same page to kill him, though. They can't pose their own questions. I see. Interesting, okay. That is true, but also nobody asked Tonpa. You don't want to like sever future teamwork between them and Kurapika by going against what he wants now, even if they had a way to go in and like kill him themselves. I'm not sure it would be a good idea, because then you're jeopardizing the entire framework of teamwork, which they have to have in order to vote, because you already have Tonpa, who's a wild card and has very high risk of upsetting the majority. So dividing themselves further would be a very, very bad idea, not only for now, but for the rest of the trial as well. What if he never wakes up, though? What if he's in a coma? The voice.
完全にハマってやがる。多数決のトリックを決めるとき、多数決は一見便利で効率的に思える。
At the end of the day, it depends what they want individually, though.
何度も連続して少数派に回り、自分の意見が抹殺され続けたら、
Yep.
疎外感、不満、怒りが湧き上がってきて対立を招く。
But what Tonpa doesn't take into account here is the fact that since Tonpa is intentionally like making every vote harder, he is always in the minority. So he's actually uniting the four of them in a way to just be against him. So he himself is acting as the pre-assigned minority, almost by choice. It would be very lucky and very uncertain if he would ever be able to turn the four of them against one another. I mean, it seems to be working in this instance, but usually Tonpa's votes and actions and just general presence is so awful that it can unite four people who don't always agree on everything to just be against him and to work together. So it's pretty short-sighted on his side. In the worst form. I guess that's pretty fair.
誰が反対したのか分かる上に自分が少数派になったら常に特定の人物と意見が対立し一方だけが意思を抹殺されるようなことが続けば集団は決裂。
You already said that,
俺たちの場合
but
それは5人全員の失格を意味する。
it doesn't necessarily mean that.
時間の問題だな。
I'm a little bit divided because on one hand, Liurio could just be mature enough to accept that he's not going to win this majority decision and sort of conform to the rest of the group and therefore reestablish a little bit of cohesion. And that's not just for himself, but for everybody else, saying that, okay, Liurio is willing to work with us. Let's work with him a little bit as well. But also on the other side of the coin, Liurio is about to fight in a match. Or I say fight, I don't actually know what the contest is going to be yet because it's different every time. Liurio is about to engage in a match, and if these negative things are holding him down, it could affect his match performance and cause him to lose even more so than I already had thought going into it, considering that he appears to be fighting a woman. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways this can go right now. I'm curious to see what it does. Tonpa's plan is ultra flawed too, though, if you really think about it. That's what she's counting on. Sow the seeds of distrust first. Magical candles. Oh? Former exam participant, I guess? Or is this the examiner he almost killed? No, okay, it is the examiner. I thought he said he killed him, not almost killed him. Maybe not, maybe he said close to death. Oh, this guy's super dead. He's too cocky, and Hisoka's too calm. Infinite quad wielding. Hisoka's very quick, very agile. I don't know if it's a good idea to always throw your weapons. It's the guy in the fighting game that just spams range attacks. Hisoka's gonna one-tap him. We caught him. Ew, why do you're gonna catch a disease if you go around licking everything. You just caught it, no big deal. Yeah, Hisoka's a beast. He knows exactly what he's doing. Alright, well, I guess that's all there is to that. Yeah, I mean, we already know Hisoka's a monster. He's a late game boss that we're not even close to approaching yet, I don't think. I want to know his story, though. 6 hours and 17 minutes. Fortunately, he didn't have to go through in a team. He could just go through solo and go as fast as he wanted, really. In a way, it's kind of unlucky that they're in a team. Seems much easier to go about it solo. Because up until this point in the exam, everybody's pretty strong. The weak ones have been eliminated. So you might as well go through solo, if you're competent. Could be. Just taking her word for it. Are you able to send Kurapika out there to go check, or what? It's still technically the match, so Kurapika can go back out there and see, no? Oh god. Whether he's actually dead. Oh no, don't do this. This is how you lose the whole thing at once. This suddenly turned into no game, no life. Don't do this, Lurio. You're not... What does that matter to them, though? You don't even have to agree to this. You absolutely don't have to agree to this. You can just have Kurapika go out and check, no? Endangered species trafficking and illegal gambling. Right, yeah. That's the problem. When they come up with all matches, they choose the one that best suits themselves. You don't take a bet against an illegal gambler, even though that shouldn't be a crime, just saying. Yeah, they're gonna have 10 hours left if they lose, total. I don't understand why Kurapika just doesn't go check. He's allowed to. He should be allowed to. It's his fight. I can't stand Tompa. Right, there's also the logical part on deciding how much you want to bet. Minimum bet. Also, I might be tripping here. I might be missing something really important. But how can she propose the match in her battle against Lirio? How can she propose the challenge and propose the rules when the previous one, as she said in her own words, has not concluded yet? Anything that she says before the previous match concludes should be able to be voided out, no? Like, if he goes up to him and this guy's alive, well, the match isn't over yet and your challenge hasn't started yet. So, like, forget all of this. I don't lose 10 hours. Forget the whole 50-50 thing in general. It shouldn't even be a thing in the first place, right? Like, if we're going chronologically, they're not allowed to go out and fight because this one's still going on, then the fight isn't allowed to start no matter what form it's in, even in gambling. No? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know. Can you win hours back if you're down? Fair enough. I don't even know if you're allowed to do that, though, because it's not your match. He's alive. She probably checked when she walked up to him in the first place, though. So, like, she already knew that answer. She walked up and crouched next to him. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Killua's figured it out. Maybe she, like, injected him with something that was like a stimulant, kept his heart beating. Yeah, no kidding, Kurapika. That was the whole problem in the first place, buddy. That's why they were so insistent you go out and finish it, so we don't waste time. Oh?
なるほど。
You gonna test him with like pain or something?
どうすりゃいいんだこんなのメモになかったぜ
The note? She set him up to this?
俺が目覚めた時そばにあったメモには気絶したふりを続けろこのメモは口の中に隠せと書いてあった
Gotcha. How did he do that without anybody saying? I guess because he's... No, he's not even facing away from them. How does he like pick it up and put it in his mouth? Whatever.
いいわよ。本当に気絶している方に20時間かけるわ。
俺はこのまま気絶したふりを続けるぜ
でも本当に気絶してるかどうかどうやって確かめるつもり？
Administer a pain test. Or just do what I originally said and throw him off the edge. I think that's what he's doing. Please do it. Yeah, he has no choice now. Very nice, Lirio. Good idea. That's not how that works, lady. It's over. Oh. Oh, okay. So this is like a double down gamble for them. The terms are so good she can't help but accept it. She'll sacrifice him. She doesn't give a shit. She does not care. What? I bet 40 hours he isn't unconscious? You can't change your vote like that. Didn't she vote that 20 for him being unconscious? I have to go back now and see exactly what she voted for initially. Yeah, so she said, I bet 20 hours that he really is unconscious. So she can just go back and change that whenever it suits her. That's kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of things in this game that I'm not really sure should be allowed, just saying. She's sort of doing things her own way, but I don't really know if I agree to it. But I guess they just accepted it. Oh! He's gonna fall anyway. Tiptoe strength. Oh, he saved him. Well, that's not good, because now they just lose. So that technically means they won Kurapika's but lost his? Or what? Oh, no, he didn't lose. Sorry, I'm getting so confused because of the way she changed her bets. Gotcha. So we've almost lost. Not yet, though. Right, okay. So Lirio kind of had to take a sacrifice in order to win that match. Come on, Lirio, clutch up. Okay, so that episode didn't actually end up being a match between Lirio and Larute, I think her name was. It was more of like finishing off the Majitani match that Kurapika did not want to be part of. If I'm honest with you here, I think looking back at it in retrospect, I think more so than anybody else, Kurapika is a little bit in the wrong here as far as like the overall exam thing goes. I don't think he's necessarily in the wrong for not wanting to kill somebody that's already surrendered, but at the same time, it's like you just jeopardized the first half of Liorio's match. He didn't play it perfectly, by all honesty, but like the fact that it wasn't really even his fault, the fact that he accepted Larute's rule change or her bet change, I don't think he should have allowed that in the first place. She should have been able to stay on what she voted on. She voted that he was unconscious. She should have been able to stay with that. That would have put the score, I believe, in Liorio's favor, no? But, I mean, either way, we didn't actually get the match between them. What I'm gonna do now is, even though I did it last time, we're gonna do a double episode. I'm gonna see how this match concludes. I wanna know what Lirio does next. Not bad, Lirio. In all honesty, like I said, did a fairly decent job for the situation you were in. You pulled yourself out of it. Episode 11, Trouble with the Gamble. Oh boy, trouble, huh? He's so gonna lose. The title basically said it. And this is really bad because if he loses, they lose 50 hours. Oh. Wow. 112-year sentence for gambling. Yeah,
それじゃあ
I agree.
次は私が男か女かをかけてもらうわ。
Oh,
どうしたの？何か問題でも
that is definitely psychological.
こいつどう見ても女だろ
Yeah, that's what she wants you to think.
かまちゃんか
We have to cut that part out of the YouTube video, I think. It's bold. Bold writing.
構わねえけどよ。もし俺が外れた場合、どうやってそれを証明する気だ？
あなたの気の済むまで存分に調べてもらっていいわ。
Right, yeah.
この私の体をね。
You're tempting him. That's what she's doing. She's a temptress, a succubus. He's gonna want to lose on purpose.
なんで？
よし。
Yeah, because he wants to lose. He wants to check.
男の方に10時間かける。
And he only bet 10, so he knows he's wrong.
なんでわかったの？
Poor Gon, too young, hasn't figured it out yet.
外れて女だったとしても、思う存分調べることができる。
She didn't say she couldn't kick your ass while you did it, though.
残念ね。私は女よ。
それは本当か。
じゃあ確かめてみる？
Why, yes, he would.
もちろんだとも。
But you know what? I'm happy for you, Leorio. Even though this is probably not the most, I don't know, gracious of circumstances. At least my boy copped a feel.
あいつは外れてもなるべくダメージを受けないようにかけている。
But he's only about 10 left,
賭
so.
け事では負けた時のことを考えているやつはいつまでも勝てねえもんなのさ。
That's not necessarily true. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest here. I have a thing for gambling a little bit. I enjoy gambling. Because of that, I know a little bit about gambling strategy and game theory and stuff. And what you gotta remember by gambling is the most obvious thing is that the house always wins for the most part. The only rare exceptions to that are people that usually, you know, anything can happen when gambling. It's always a game of chance, the chance never being in your favor. So really what you should do and what Tompa is kind of correct in is you kind of gotta bet high in quick succession, right? You don't play the long game with gambling because the long game is never in your favor. It's kind of, there's a math term for this where, you know, you plot a bunch of points on the graph and which side, it basically, the higher sample size you get, the more closer to the middle it usually gets, and that is more in favor of the casino in the long run. I'm not wording this very well, but what I'm trying to say is if you actually want to win while gambling, you kind of got to play high risk, high reward, and you got to go in, you got to bet a lot at once and hopefully win that and then cut it off, take your winnings and go. Typically betting low amounts over a long period of time. It's not usually the best whenever you're not in the advantage, in which Lirio is not in the advantage in this case because he's not the one making the bets. He's making the wager, but he's not creating the challenge. So Tonpa is somewhat correct here, I think. I'm so sorry for how poorly that was worded. Hopefully, I got the point across.
読み通りね。あいつのかけ方には全く怖さがない。
Yeah.
そのやり方じゃ何べん言っても。
But on the same token, whenever you're in such a shady gambling situation like this against an illegal gambler, you're gonna think that they're gonna try and pull one over on you. So maybe you bet low at the start to see if you can catch them in any tricks. So that way you can bet high in an attempt to feign their tricks. But with every bet being different, unless she's using the same trick in everything, then it gets, I don't know, it's really complicated. And Lioria's defense here, this is not like, yeah, he's acting like a petulant child and he's just being like a hornball. But at the same time, I'm not sure many people would be able to figure out what the trick is, if there's even a trick. She's just sort of mind gaming him so far, but yeah. The trick is to not let her change gambles midway, you doofus.
さあ、次はあなたが出題すれば。
Oh, he gets to pick it this time. Right, they go back and forth. I guess I didn't consider that.
浮かれてる場合じゃねえな。残りのチップは10時間だけか。
レオリオにはもう後がない。もし次の賭けに負ければ2勝2敗のタイ。
You should just like do a coin flip. Heads or tails. Someone calls it before it gets flipped. He flips it. I mean, that's the truest 50-50 he can pretty much do, unless she has some way to manipulate that, like make the wind blow in a certain way, or she has like incredible observation skills like Gon does. She can see it fall and which side it's going to fall on. But like in general, it might be worth it if you can't come up with something proper against her. Actually utilize true fortune and true chance against her, and she will be left with vulnerabilities.
2敗のタイ。その上、負けた分の50時間。
Yeah, it puts him at like 10, right?
レオリオ。
And considering you have no idea what's next, that could be really dangerous.
確実に勝てる問題なんてすぐには浮かばねえし、俺が男か女かをかけるって
No, don't do that.
あ
There you go.
俺はそんな問題になるほど老けちゃいねえぞ。どう見たって10代だ。
Should have taken that bet.
剣でどっちが勝つか賭けよう
Rock,
ぜ。
paper, scissors? Okay. I mean, it's not terrible. There's definitely psychology that goes into it, though.
また難しいものを持ち出してきたな。
じゃんけんってそんなに難しい
Yeah, it's very complicated at times.
何を隠そう。じゃんけんにはちょっと自信があるのや。
Oh, okay.
グルメ旅行をゲ
Oh.
ットしたしな。
Nice.
じゃあ私は自分が勝つ方に80時間かけるわ
Yeah.
80時間
It's because it's his feigned confidence, right?
かける時間は私の自由よ
Immediately makes him panic, thinking that she has a way to win 100% of the time. That she would gamble so much on it.
取られる時間は10時間だけだから安心して
Yeah.
80時間
It's so much
10
confidence.
時間で十分だろう。それともそれだけ自信があるってことか。
Messing with his brain.
やっぱりうろたえてるわね本当に
I love this sort of stuff.
男だこと
じゃんけんを
There are some things that are just played often, more often than others.
たった3分の1でしかない。
Human psychology plays a big role in this game.
相手に心理を読まれ、コントロールされてしまうと、負ける確率はぐんと上がる。
Right.
つまり単純頭のレオリオンには
So truly,
不利なゲーム
if you have no strategy, just throw something completely random. Don't even think about it. Don't let their influence have any effect on you.
手に取るようにわかるわ
She's gonna sow the seeds more.
心が読めるの
俺を動揺させよったってそうはいかねえぞ。
やってみればわかるわ
It's clearly working.
根拠のない嘘でも動揺してるわ
Yep.
人の心が
I mean, I understand, but he just doesn't get. He doesn't get it.
本当だとしたら。
レオリオはグーを出す。
Yeah, she forces it on him to make his decision quickly. Kurapika was right.
緊張している人間は開くという行為を無意識に避ける傾向がある。
Hmm.
つまり彼女はわざとレオリオを動揺させてパーを出しにくくさせる。
I see. It's because I think maybe because you know he said like opening up, but also you're sort of taking that little last moment of like where you're throwing the symbol to like see if they can predict what they're gonna do early and like have something to change. So you're like hanging on in case you want to do something else, or you could just stay. I don't know. It just makes sense like in the moment,
まあ俺もお前もグーを出して愛子だったよな。
right?
それがどうしたの
俺見ろ。やっぱり人の心が読めるなんて嘘じゃねえか。
That is the natural
俺
conclusion.
の心が読めてたら勝てたはずだよな。え
But she kind of wants to stall you for time is the whole thing.
わざと愛子にしたに決まってるじゃない
Yeah, that's another lie she can spin.
忘れてないかしら時間稼ぎも私たちにとって
Damn, yeah. It's a lie that just works in her favor naturally.
だって可能なんだから
Well, then do it.
でも
So you shouldn't even worry about
つ
it.
まんないこと続けてても飽きるだけ次で決めてあげるわ
Oh. Damn, she's good.
次は何を出すの
She is good. Because she's mixing the truth and the lies together, and that's how you make a convincing lie.
悩み、迷い。
I still think the best strategy is to throw a random.
したものは心理的に安定を望もうとする。
But you just don't know how many steps ahead she's thinking.
次はチョキを出せば勝てるよ
Great. You're not helping, Gon. You're just making it more confusing.
チョキ
Because he doesn't know the reasoning now.
そんなこと言って自分はグーを出すつもりだろう。
Maybe if he heard the reasoning, that would make sense to him, but he doesn't know.
パーを出すつもりか。さらにその裏を書いてチョキ。
Yeah. It's just a loop.
さらにその裏を書いてグー。
You can't ever know.
もうあかん。
So just throw something random.
愛子でしょ
Gon was right. Should have thrown scissors.
私の勝ち
Well,
じゃんけんって奥が深いんだねこれで2勝2敗か
I like that. That was a good match. That was not
負
bad.
けた分のチップ、50時間を支払わなければな
That could have been even better if that whole Majitani situation didn't happen and Lirio had full points to play with.
あのざまでか
Oh, shut the fuck up, Tompa. You didn't do shit either.
今回は何も言い返さないでおいてやるぜ。
Nah, you know what? Lirio is like the third least defensive person in this so far. I think Gon did the best so far. Killua hasn't done yet. Kurapika and Tompa are worse.
59時間45分だ
59 hours. They've got 9 hours. Yeah.
実質10時間を切ってるというわけだな。残り時間なんて関係ない。なぜなら
Oh, the last guy. All right. We got a Killua out here. Killua versus Killua. This guy's cold-blooded. You can see it in his eyes. He's got that sad, melancholic look. I personally, I've got confidence in Killua. We haven't even seen him really break a sweat besides against Netero. And Killua needs to make it quick too. Speedy. No, okay, so they believe in this guy. That's fate. No, no. You don't put people in a situation that they're likely to die in, and just say, "Ah, that's fate, man." Nothing could have changed that. Nothing could have prevented this from happening. Yeah, we're just letting this guy fight a child. We could stop it right now, but you know, fate and all. You know, if it's fate, he'll die even if he does stop it. But we'll see. All right, so who is this guy actually? He's big, that's for sure. Oh no. Majitani's dead. For real this time. You're gonna need some more botched plastic surgery after that one. We're bigging this guy up like he's a big deal. So extra. This guy's not a fake like Majitani, is he? Lion, son of Pride Escanor. Jonas the Dissector. The worst mass murderer in Zaban's history. Oh. 146 people? I see. So we're not gonna feel an ounce of sadness when this guy dies. So he deserves absolutely everything that's about to come to him. Killua's going for it. I still believe in him. Killua's like small and agile. He could avoid the grip. What do you have to say, Gon? Nothing? Gon's curious about how this is gonna go. None of them have even seen what Killua is capable of. We don't even really know ourselves. One-sided massacre, huh? This guy's the worst. Okay. He's like, I like this kid. What'd he do? Oh. Smashed his heart or stabbed his heart? Or took it out? That's cold. Damn. Just like that, huh? What were you saying about that one-sided massacre? Oh, that look on his face, too. He's pleased. How are you still standing right now? Well. Oh, and he gives it him back. That's cold. Good job! He's like, no, yeah, I'll abstain, I'm good. Damn, Killua is sick. He's really cool. Yeah, they're gonna be scared of him now. Leorio is. Maybe Tompa too. Tompa should be. Wow, they still have to do that? What do you gotta say, Tompa? You look a little bit shocked. maybe getting worried about who you've gotten involved with. Maybe I shouldn't try and throw their game, otherwise he's gonna rip my heart out. Nothing's stopping him. Why wouldn't he? It's purely a matter of his willpower, what he wants to do. Oh god. We got Craig from Slipknot out here. Yeah, these two were in collusion, no? Or I think it was him. Hanzo, 12 hours. Damn. So Hisoka finished twice as fast as him, and he's third. That's not too bad. This room is going to turn into like an escape room, though. It's going to turn into a poison chamber, maybe. I just ripped it out. No big deal. Oh. That's not a technique? That's just something you can do? Interesting. Yeah, right. Kurapika's thinking about this the right way. But unfortunately, knowing what we know about Killua, his family might not be on his side, and his family, based on his own words, are even better. Or at least his father is. So you better hope that they don't come after you guys because you're gonna get caught in the crossfire. I don't know. There's so much setup with his family. They keep mentioning it. I mean, it's a very integral part of like who he is as a character. Explains his like cold demeanor and obvious intense assassin skills. But still, it can't just be saying all this about his family not to lead up to something. He's still a kid though, and it shines through. Imagine spending 50 hours in a room with Tonpa. Hell nah. Something about this room. It's gonna be more important than it seems. Maybe the books have a secret on how to beat the next trial or something. All in all, I'd say I'm fairly pleased with how that first part turned out. Leorio did better than I expected him to, even though he ultimately fell. I mean, he only really had like one actual bet that he made, and it was on rock, paper, scissors. The one before that, he intentionally lost, and the one before that was more of Kurapika's fault than Leorio's in a way. Killua absolutely destroyed Johannes, the mass murderer dissector. Why is he called the dissector if he crushes people with his hands? That he would be like Jonas the Crusher, or the Iron Grip, or the Flattener, the Vice. I don't know. You could have called him something better than Dissector, because, you know, like, I don't know. Whatever. The main problem is, though, that after this 50 hours is up, they only have 9 hours and something to complete the rest of the trial. We don't know how many parts Phase 3 has to it. They could have 2 or 3 or 4 more parts to get through, and that might not be enough time, especially if one of those challenges has to do with, like, again, wagering time or something to involve actually spending time. It could cause problems in the future, and just because I'm in theory crafting mode, like I said, that last room might actually have something. This 50 hours, I have a hard time believing is just going to be them sitting around in a room and doing nothing. If it isn't part of the trial and they actually just do have to spend 50 hours in the room together, they can maybe use that to build the character relationships a little bit more, maybe change the dynamics a little bit. Now that they have something to talk about with the trial, maybe they can criticize Leorio or criticize Kurapika, or maybe they can learn a little bit more about Killua's family. I'm sure there's a lot of different things they could explore while they're in this room. I don't think it's going to be boring. I just don't envy them that they have to spend it with Tompa. After the last set of episodes, I said that Kurapika is probably my favorite character, or at least the most interesting, and that might be easily contested by Killua, because I think the two things in the story that it's alluded to in the future the most, and also the things that I'm most interested in, are probably Kurapika's backstory and confronting the Phantom Troop, but also Killua's family, that's like the assassin family that's super elite and super skilled and super trained. Those are the two things that it's hinted at that I think I want to know the most about. Third place, honorable mention, would probably be Hisoka and maybe what his story is, because he's still largely a huge mystery to us. I'm really enjoying the series so far. I think this was the best phase of the exam up until this point. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Do let me know what you like about the exam so far the most. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Did you notice that whenever I said subscribe, the little button down below, if you're on desktop, glows now? That's like a new thing I saw the other day. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.